Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So as you can see from the title, I'm going to be talking about beginner friendly lash products. Everything that I do mention in this video, I will have the link for each item down in the description box, so don't worry about any of that. But anyways, I wasn't told a lot of this information when I first started out with lashing, so I know the video that I'm making for you guys is going to be super helpful, and if not, then you can just comment anything else you want to know and I will give you that information. So let's get started with today's video. Okay, so I have my notes here on every single thing that I had to start off, and I do want to start off with the must-haves for your lash business. These are like things that you just have to have for either your room or your studio. So again, this is a beginner friendly, products. I no longer use some of these items. Some of them I do still have, obviously, because they're a necessity, but some of the stuff I did upgrade. But you want a good ring light. Obviously, you're gonna be looking onto someone's tiny little lashes or these fine little hairs, and you need a really good ring light. So the one that I personally use, I did get from Best Buy, and it looks kind of like this. So it wasn't too expensive. I will have the price on here, but yeah, you need a ring light, a lash bed. Now, if you prefer a recliner, that's okay. This is just a beginner to start off your business, which I would go with a lash bed because they are less expensive. And if you are a travel lash artist, this is perfect for you because you just pack it up and go. Barbicide, girl, you need barbicide and cavi wipes because you have tweezers, you have brushes that you need to disinfect, and barbicide is the absolute best thing that you can use for your instruments. So definitely you need to buy those. A sterilizing tray, it's where you put your instruments to submerge them under that barbicide to clean them. I know barbicide has those little long cylinder jars. I personally have the sterilizing tray, which it's the same thing, it's just a different container. A hydrometer, I think that's how you say it. That is essential to your lash glue. Why? Because every single glue has a different temperature and humidity that it works well in. I don't know if you knew that or not, but yes, each glue has, different numbers that they need to be at so that way it works to like its best ever. And then a humidifier. Now, if you are a travel lash artist, this kind of gets tricky with you because you can't be carrying a big humidifier everywhere you go and then connecting it and then disconnecting it. I mean, I guess you could, but that's just a lot because you're already setting up your ring light, you're already setting up your bed, you're carrying all these items with you that you need, and it's just carrying a humidifier would probably be hell. But if you do need, like if you live in a super humid area, you might need to buy a dehumidifier. You don't want your humidity for your glue to be way off the scale. You want it to be right in between. That's why you need a hydrometer to check that, so you are in the right range. And then you need acrylic organizers to keep, and this is for like your room or your studio. So if you're a travel lash artist, then obviously some of these are not gonna be for you because you can't really carry them everywhere you go. But acrylic organizers you can buy on Amazon. They are to store obviously your spoolies, your lip applicators, your micro swabs, your iPads, what else, your glue rings. It's to keep everything sanitary, and obviously for no dust to collect onto these accessories that you need. And then storage drawers. So I got mine at my local TJ Maxx. I know you can find some at Michael's. They are only 5 drawers, so just depending on if you find any at TJ Maxx, then you can resort to Michael's, but definitely check there. And then a rolling cart. This one you do get at Michael's because it's like a 3-tiered where you can have everything and it moves with you. So if you need to move it a little bit closer to you and then put it back when you're done with your service, to keep, you know, your glue container, the little sealed glue container, to keep like your cleanser, to keep your shampoo, to keep a little, like, what is it called, like a little container where you can put your tweezers in that you use. And then you also need dental bibs or towels. That's just kind of up to you. I personally started off with dental bibs, really helpful when it comes to disposing of them. And then you also need some tissues. So tissues you can get at Walgreens, Walmart, Target, anywhere, and I use that to put on like their forehead. I would put the tissue, obviously they're facing like this way, so I would put the tissue going down and then put a tiny piece of tape that way, because you're gonna be on their forehead and you don't want it to get like sweaty, or if they're oily you don't want it to get worse. So I definitely recommend getting tissues for that reason. Diving in to the actual lash products, so I'm gonna start off with the glues. When I first started, I used 𝐋𝐄𝐓'𝐒. I absolutely loved their glues. As a starter, I remember having the worst luck with finding a really good glue, and I personally really like these to begin with. Obviously, when you get more advanced, you start using quicker glues and stronger bonded glues, but the ones that I use were these two. I started off with one and then I ordered the other, and then I ended up mixing them. And you can do that with some brands, like you can mix them, but the two that I personally used were the Omega and the Superhero. So it's the blue and pink little topped glue from 𝐋𝐄𝐓'𝐒. And then for my tapes, NYX Care, NYX Care, I think that's how you say it, is the freaking bomb.com. So what I would do is cut them into pieces. So after I put the iPads down, I would put that right under the lash line, like the bottom lash line, or you know where the hairs are. I would take it behind, you know, my hand and then just detack it a little, because it is a little strong, but it is super sensitive. I didn't have any clients get like allergic reaction from it, so that was a freaking like what is it called, a pro. It was definitely no cons with that in my opinion. And then also these breathable micro pore tapes, I love them. I got these from Amazon. The only thing that I will say about them is that when I received them, they had like a weird smell. I don't know if it's just from this person that I ordered from, but it did have like a weird smell to them. But I definitely recommend using these breathable tapes to either tape back the lashes so you can do lash layers, to tape the eyelids up. I always say use as much tape as you need because if it's gonna help you isolate, you want that. Even if your client is looking all crazy with like 10 pieces of tape on their face, they're not gonna see them. No one else is gonna see them but you, and I am all for using as much tape as you possibly can and need. And then my glue shaker I got from Live Bay Lashes. I know that there's other things out there for shaking your glue. I hated shaking it with my hand, so as soon as I heard of a glue shaker, I bought it, and it's not too expensive, I don't think. I mean, you're gonna have to invest in really, really good lash products after a while. Like after you start off, I feel like a lot of beginner lash artists try to start off with the absolute best products, and it's just not gonna be in their budget, because you're gonna be spending so much money starting off your business that there's definitely other cheaper options, affordable options to start with, because again, it's a learning process. You have to make sure that the products that you're working with are good. I don't know if that made sense, but you definitely don't want to start off with super expensive items because you're not going to be making any profit when you first start. My lash trays, I bought some from Lashbox LA when I first ever started, and I really like them. I would get the 0.03s. Now, I will say that I started off really, I don't want to say like advanced, but I started using 0.3s because the 0.5s from Lashbox LA, and I will link another, I will show you another brand that I would use. I just felt like the 0.05s were so stiff that I couldn't fan them at all. So I did like the 0.03 Lashbox LA. I believe they're the Royal Stable or something like that. I love those. And then a bonder. I loved the Lashbox LA bonder. It's like in a little blue container thing. The best thing ever. You have to invest in a really good bonder because that's how your retention is also gonna play a big part in that, is your placement and your bonder. You need a really good bonder. Lash primer. You need a good lash primer and a good lash cleanser, and the ones that I use, the primer is from, it's like Eye Level Lashes or something like that, and it smells like literally heaven. I love the smell of lavender. I don't know if that's just me, but that's what it smells like. I think that's why I got it, is because it said that it smelled really good. So, and it worked. It's literally, it was perfect. And then the lash cleaner or cleanser I got from London Lash Pro. I actually still to this day use that cleanser because it really does its job. It gets all that gunk out. And so that's what I begin my service with, is the cleanser. And then after I dry that, I add a primer to dry up that natural lash so that the extension can stick to it. Lip applicators. That is what you use to cleanse your lashes. Even when you do a lash bath, you can use that, so that way you can just dispose of them instead of having to clean and clean and clean over and over again. A brush. It does its job. I mean, I can't say anything bad about lip applicators because you can use that to cleanse and to put your bonder on at the end. And then you also need some mascara wands. You can get those from mascara wands, spoolies. It's the same thing. It just depends on how you say it, but they are the same product. I would get mine from Amazon. Your micro swabs, I again would get them from Lashbox LA. If you haven't noticed already, I mentioned Lashbox LA a lot because that is the first brand that I ever heard of and was told about. So that's the one that I resorted to. Obviously, because I went in not really knowing anything really, because the instructor that I chose to go with didn't give me all that information, which it does happen, and that's why sometimes you have to really do extensive research on who you go with to teach you about these things. But Lashbox LA is kind of like the main brand that I first started off with, so definitely get micro swabs from them. And then my glue rings I would get from Amazon. Again, a lot of these things you can find on Amazon. Some of them you will need to go with like a specific lash brand, like Lashbox LA, Live Bay, Eye Level Lash. They kind of have two names, so I don't know which one to use. But again, all these products are going to be linked down below, so that way you know exactly which product I am talking about. So a lash mirror. I have, and I still use, the one that I ever started off with, which was from Live Bay Lashes, and it's this pink little mirror that you put under to check for stickies, to make sure that their eyes are not open, so that they don't get red eyes. And then a water bottle. It's the ones that you use for like your lash bath, and they have this little like piece to it. I'll just show you right here so you know what I'm saying. That is better than just like using, because I've seen girls use like the little droppers. To me, you're gonna have to go back, dip it in there, and then, you know, do it a few times to really cleanse it. And this water bottle, you just squeeze and it, you know, goes in there. So it's definitely a time saver in my opinion. A nano mister. I was given a nano mister to also cure the lashes, for no fumes to be, you know, exposed to the eye or none of that. The only thing with the nano mister is that it kind of spits out a tiny bit of water particles, and you don't want your lashes to get shocked. You want to be really careful when using a nano mister because of those little water particles splattering. But my eye pads I also would get from Amazon. You need a portable fan. That is what you use to, like, either you kind of don't want to use it in between your service because you're wasting time, you know, every like few seconds blow drying them. No. That is what I personally use at the end of my service, so they can fully cure, they can dry, and then I apply the bonder. But the one that I am linking down right here, I actually still have it. It's just now my personal fan, because I used to blow dry my own lashes because I only had one specific fan for my clients, and I didn't want to take it out and then use it for myself, and then, you know, I don't know. And you need a lash remover. You have to have this in your supply drawer, in your little case that you travel with, whatever. You need a lash remover because sometimes your client will end up wanting to take those lashes off and you don't want them to pull them. You never ever want to advise your clients to take them off by themselves because they're gonna pull them out and they're gonna damage those natural lashes, and they're gonna blame the actual extensions for that damage, and it's not the extensions, it was the fact that they're pulling them off. So you need a lash remover, some adhesive wipes. So when you burp your glue, if you were not taught to burp your glue, now you know. Every single time you drop glue drops into your glue ring, your glue palette, whatever, you need to be burping your glue. And those adhesive wipes are to wipe off the nozzle so you don't get that crusted dried glue and it doesn't clog, because I believe that lash adhesives, when you buy them, like a new one, they only come with one little poker thing. I don't know what they're called, like the little pins, and at some point you have to throw that pin out because it's gonna have so much glue buildup that it's no longer gonna prick it all the way to the inside, and it's still gonna be clogged. And then scissors. Scissors are for your either iPads, for your tape, for your like anything that you need to cut. You need some good scissors, and the scissors that I got are linked down below. Again, you can get them off Amazon. And then makeup remover wipes. This is gonna be another essential lash product because you're gonna have clients that go in with their eyebrows done, and when you try to put tape on there, I mean, if you have stuff on your brows or even like a little bit of residue from makeup, it's not going to stick. No products, not even like the tape, is gonna stick to dirty, oily like skin. It's just not gonna work out. I promise you, it never does. So makeup wipes, Lashbox LA, you can use whichever ones. I just think that these don't leave that like oily residue. I know the Neutrogena, I think that's what they're called, the little blue packets, they do kind of leave an oily residue behind, even though they're like supposed to be oil free. They do leave some kind of residue, and again, that's not gonna stick, like the tape is not gonna stick to their skin. And then of course a glue storage. This is gonna airtight your glue to keep it from any moisture, so that way it doesn't dry up and it doesn't get all weird and like sticky. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but you're supposed to throw your glue away every single month. You need to keep replacing it because it does end up getting like sticky. I don't know if you guys have ever lashed and you have your glue ring with that 1 or 2 specific glue dots and it ends up getting sticky. So another thing, just to mention, put it out there, if you did not know this, now you do. You're supposed to change your glue dot, your glue whatever, every 20 to 30 minutes to prevent that. That way you're not using all this like weird glue and your lashes are not gonna stick to the natural. Your extensions are not going to stick to those natural lashes because your glue is being all wonky. And then you need a a brush for lash baths. Again, you could use a brush or the lip applicators. That's kind of up to you if you're wanting to spend more time cleaning those brushes, because you know, I personally, because I never used a brush, I didn't have like an individual brush for every single client. I had one brush for all of my clients, and I remember taking an extra like 10 to 15 minutes cleaning them when I would get home, and that's kind of a lot, you know. So it just kind of depends, but I'm just gonna link the one that I had on there just in case you do want to do with all of that. But those are some of the products that I started with. I definitely remember struggling so freaking bad on finding good lash products, and it was hell. I didn't have anyone really to tell me like what to use or where to start. It was very overwhelming, but I hope this was kind of simplified. You don't need to start off with something fancy. You don't need to start off with something big, expensive. Like, you can start off with affordable products, and as you get further into your lash business, that you start getting profit. Because again, you're not gonna make a big profit when you first start off. I want to say that it takes a good like 6 to 12 months to actually see some kind of profit. Why? Because you're playing with these lashes. I don't want to say like, oh, you're wasting so many lashes, but you kind of are, because you're learning, you're still practicing how to fan, and some of the fans are going to come out all weird, and you're going to have to throw that fan away. You can't place a crazy fan on your client. You can't place a thick based fan on your client. So you are going to be going through lash trays like crazy. And you also have to find out which lash trays you need more. So for example, when you first start off, I would definitely recommend NYX trays, just because you're gonna have clients that are gonna want really short lashes, and some clients are gonna want a little bit on the longer side. And NYX trays normally run from 8 to 15 millimeters in that one tray, so you have those different numbers from 8 to 15. And then after you start realizing like, you know what, I'm using more 12s, 13s, 14s, and 15 millimeter lengths. Like, those are the ones that you absolutely need to keep stock on. So it does take time to play with them and to see how your clients use the most. So for example, I remember when I first started, a lot of my clients just use super short lashes. Like, I don't think I even really touched 14, 15 millimeters. So those NYX trays definitely helped me out, because I would have been buying like 5 trays from each size and not even touching the longer sizes. So I would definitely recommend NYX trays, just so you know what your clients are using, and then ordering more and more of those single length trays, if that makes any sense. But yeah, I hope this video helped you in any kind of way. If you have any other questions or product recommendations, then definitely leave those down below for any beginner lash artists, lash techs. I'm sure they would appreciate some recommendations that I may not have mentioned in this video. And if you want any other videos specifically like on a certain topic, then also comment that down below so I can make a video for you or answer it down in the comment section. I'm always up for teaching someone or recommending products or anything like that. I remember feeling so alone, because I had no one to really go for to ask like, hey, like, what products did you use? Or hey, what is this, or what is that? Like, I would always, and I understand, you know, your knowledge is very valuable, but I was so defeated. I remember wanting to quit so many freaking times because I was so overwhelmed. I didn't know where to buy things, and I had no one I can be like, hey, like, you know, is this product good or not? So I definitely want to help out with that. These are super beginner friendly supplies, all of that. It's not anything too advanced. Again, these were my favorite beginner products. I can't really say that'll be the same for every single one of you, but if some of these brands you've never heard of, it's a good like recommendation for you to try out. But that is gonna be it for today's video. I hope that you learned something new today, and these products definitely helped you not be overwhelmed on where to buy any of your lash products. But yeah, if you are new to my channel, don't forget to like and subscribe to this video and to my channel. That way you get more videos on lashing, on anything like that, because I am gonna be uploading more lash related content. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video.